we are in. If they're wanting to kind of create those scrambles, looking for the neck or an exposure on takedowns, especially if you don't really necessarily want to shoot yourself.
That's a very good point.
It could be a good strategy. If you wind up getting tossed and land with him on your back, not necessarily the best strategy, but Zach is obviously a very seasoned grappler, so he knows what he's doing up here.
Yeah, he knows what he's getting into. Looks like Jared's really slowed down the aggressiveness, or the aggression, I should say, on the feet.
I think he felt what Zachary was doing. He's trying to pull him into something. Jared's being smart. Let's see if these guys can keep her going. We got 100% submission rate through 7 matches. Or through 6 matches, I should say. Let's see if our number 7 can keep that going.
Nice
There's
double
the
attempt.
throws we're talking
Beautiful lift.
about.
Nice takedown by Jared. And again, Zachary back up to the feet.
Now this is for the listeners, this is something you got to think about. Those takedowns are awesome. We all have to watch them, but again, we're not in a points tournament. So if you have 10 of those and they don't get you to a submission, you're using
tired.
a lot of energy. And then in an EBI tournament, you sometimes want to have your opponent use a lot of energy. I would not want to get slammed 10 times to get to EBI overtime, but everyone has a different strategy coming in. Zach pulls, and he comes right back up. So watching this, what I'm thinking he really wants is he wants to get a connection in on the takedown or pull. Jared wants to kind of throw into a dominant position, and neither of them are committing if they're not getting what they want. Zach's off the takedown or pull will just disengage if he doesn't get the connection, and Jared's disengaging if he doesn't get a dominant spot. I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like an inside kind of trip into a pull from Zach. Or, maybe even go for some kind of like flying submission to try to get Jared into position. Again.
It's a nice single leg from Jared, but again, that seems to be the theme of this match.
Mm-hmm.
A nice takedown and a reset.
Again, about 3 minutes into the match, like I said, obviously Jared's in good shape and a great wrestler, so I'm not saying this is wearing him out, but this is a lot of energy being exerted for... no points. We're not in a situation where you can win by just default or points.
It's a nice little snap down here.
Now this is a good position for Jared.
And again, really good job by Zachary with having a solid guard recovery and getting back to his feet.
I am interested because, as I said, I think they're both looking for very specific things when they hit the floor. I'm wondering what those things are because personally, if I'm getting to kind of that front headlock, open guard, and I'm going to be trying to put the pressure on pass. Even if I know he has a really good guard, I'm going to kind of burn those legs out a little bit if we're going to go into the later rounds. And if I'm Zach, if I'm getting him there, I might stay there and try to get him to come in so I can connect as he's trying to pass. But again, I'm not sure what's going through their head specifically. It looked like an arm spin attempt by Jared. As I mentioned, Jared's coming out in the Jiu-Jitsu Idiots rash coat attire. If you guys don't know, Jiu-Jitsu Idiots is a local Chicago Midwest BJJ podcast you should check out. Have quite a few interesting guests on, including myself. If you want to hear some top grapplers in the Midwest talking about Jiu-Jitsu, it's a fun one. Russell and Greg are both great guys. Russell's actually in Jared's corner currently. He's a 10th Planet Chicago black belt.
Neither gentleman really opting for any collar ties. It looks like Jared is really, really comfortable with this underhook. I think most grapplers would be, but there's a few times where you will see, Zach ultimately opt to play an overhook game.
Again, this is
a tough stand-up fight.
Yeah, this is very much becoming a very kind of outside the box kind of scrambling for what we usually see in both finishers. Again, Jared is always a showman. The big throw is looking to get the crowd into it, which I love to see.
Nice double leg. Let's see if he's able to control the position and keep Zachary down this time.
Now we get a low mount. So you're going to expect Zach to kind of keep him low, and then if Jared works up, he's going to go for a kip escape. He's immediately setting up the kip. Jared should be prepared. He should be kind of sitting back and pinching those knees to prevent the kip. If he stays low, this is working right into Zach's kip escape, and he may want this for a leg entry. Against a tough wrestler like him, sometimes the best option is letting him get on top so you can try to get underneath for the legs. A very kind of old school 10th planet type of approach. I would not be surprised if that's what he's thinking about here. He is going to need to clear a little bit of the head pressure and start bumping those hips if he wants that.
Yeah, Jared doing a really, really good job with the pressure on this top mount. That's looking very uncomfortable. But Zachary actively trying to, there he goes. He gets to his side. He's going to be trying to trap a leg. He's going to try to get himself out of this position. But, yeah, Jared's
It's a heavy, strong guy on top of you.
be a tough guy to get out from underneath, yeah.
Yeah, definitely think he's going to be looking for a head and arm / a gift wrap, really putting some stress. Ooh, nice forearm across the face. Could be seeing maybe somebody go for a mother's milk from the top. I could be wrong, but I don't think we've ever had a smother tap in Midwest finishers. Now Jared getting some arm isolation, kind of a much stronger attacking mount than just kind of heavy on the head mount. Looking for that gift wrap and just can't get a deep enough grip on Zach's wrist. Zach doing a good job peeing up. Now sitting off into the front headlock. You might see an old school on the back from Zach.
Very interesting.
Zach
position.
escapes, but can
Very
he keep control?
position.
Fun scramble by both grapplers.
Scramble. Give a nice applause out of the room. That really showed what you were talking about earlier, Jeff, where Zachary was able to get that connection that he might have been looking for off of some of the things that Jared was doing, right?
Yeah. Well,
Got to a really deep back attempt position.
Yeah, if you're going into a match with a grappler who has the wrestling and kind of explosive advantage, sometimes you're conceding some of the early positioning, so just so you can get into positions that you have a more frame of reference and can negate those abilities is a really smart strategy, especially again in sub only, where if you do get mounted, it doesn't really matter as long as you get out, don't get subbed. Not a big deal. Nice throw, but using it to take the back is Zach.
A beautiful judo throw attempt.
And then Jared comes out. He might try to spin into the armbar. Kimura. Really
Jared
fun
doing a very,
scramble.
very good job at defending the back attempt by Zachary. And Zachary defending the turtle position here. Let's see if Jared's able to make anything from this control position that he's been able to get again.
Now, strategically, this is going to be an interesting choice by Jared. There's 2 minutes left. He's in a very good position. We can work towards the back. But the amount of energy necessary to control and get to the back and finish in these last two, when you know you have an overtime looming,
Goes for the lateral.
It goes to the lateral, a nice little suplex.
Again, not really too worried about getting the hooks in by any points, by any loss of points, by any sort of situation like that. But I really don't think that Jared wants to back in the first place. I think that he wants to stay on top.
Yeah, but again, this is where you got to kind of really make a choice. Are you going to try to finish?
Sure.
Or are you going to
Just
try
keep
to hold?
Right.
Because again, with short time, under 2 minutes, probably about just under 90 seconds, I'm guessing, left, you do not have a lot of time to set up a sub. And if you're going to use energy going for it when you're about to go into overtime, it can be a very strategic advantage or disadvantage depending on where you're thinking of the match.
It looks like Jared is adamant about trying to finish the fight still. He's transitioned to mount really well, but
which is we want to see. We want to see finishes.
But this might be the first one.
Yeah, and I mean, if I'm Jared's corner, I'm probably telling him, let's just hang out, let's catch our breath,
Sure.
Make him carry a weight for the last 45, and let's go to OT. If I'm Zach, I'm just making him scramble. I'm making him move, keeping my elbows in, but bumping my hips, trying to keep that energy going the whole time.
30 seconds.
I think we're going to hit overtime.
Yeah, they just called 30 seconds left. We can only assume that that's most likely what's going to happen. If Jared opts to maybe try to shoot for an arm or do a quick back take here, but ultimately it's looking like it's going to go to OT.
For those of you new to the EBI overtime, we're going to have up to 3 rounds with a 2 minute max ride time. The competitor can choose to either be on the back or in the spider web, which is the armbar position, and you're going to either control for 2 minutes, escape, or submit. The person with the fastest submission wins. If there's no submissions across all 3, it's the person who escapes the fastest out of those. So Jared, being the aggressor in the match, gets the choice, and he's going to opt to take the back. So they're going to start with a seatbelt grip, and then Zach's going to get a 2-hand defensive grip, and we're going to play from here. There's always going to be some jockeying for the grip position.
Always.
Ref Bashir making sure both guys are in a good spot. Jared has his ankles crossed. Zach able to pop them. Jared looking for a little cross wrist.
So it looks like he's about to clear that bottom hook,
Zach
but he loses the.
Zach has got the knee back alignment.
Jared doing a really good job of recovering the
That
back.
is an escape.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Nice escape by Zach. Not a ton of ride time. And Jared definitely looks a little tired after the control he's had throughout the regulation and this overtime. Expect an explosive start from Jared. He does not want to stay here long term. Zach being a tall, long grappler. Expect a body triangle and just a lock and to slowly set up the choke. Jared tries to
There's that
explode,
big
but Zach's
explosion.
able to keep control.
He tries to
And
trap
arm
the
is
arm.
trapped.
Climbs up pretty high on the back. Let's see if he's able to take it.
Jared gets out. So Jared definitely has a small ride time
Just a
advantage
little
after
bit
our first 13. But again, we get 2 more possible overtimes. We'll see if either guy opts to switch to the spiderweb or stay continuing on the back.
Looks like we're switching it up.
There we go. Here comes the spiderweb. So this is going to be an armbar position. The attacking opponent can have one arm in and one arm out. The bottom player gets the defensive connection they want. They're supposed to have their knees facing straight up.
We start the top of round 2 here.
Zach gets the step over. From our angle, it's hard to see where his arm is, but he definitely looks still in trouble. Someone as strong as Jared on your arm, this is not a good spot for that. And there's the submission.
Fully extended. Fully extended.
So Jared gets the sub, but Zach has a chance. He has to get the sub, I'm guessing, in about 20, 25 seconds. So it's going to be a So Zach
see
is
if he
going to go
opts to-
armbar as well.
Sure.
Generally speaking, for the new people to EBI, if you need a quick submission, armbar is the way. If you're looking for ride time and submission, usually the back is the way. So this is not surprising. For generally speaking, for the spiderweb, it's kind of you get it or you don't. You can't touch the leg to start. It has to be one arm down, one arm on the floor.
He immediately starts going for the bicep slicer to try to get that
Looking
arm
for the
extended.
slice. It's going to be hard to get this arm, though.
He's really trying to go for the finish here.
And Jared does not have to escape. He just has to not, and that's time. And Jared gets the sub in our first OT match of the day. That was a fun one, very contrasting styles.
Definitely. And some very fun scrambles out of there, too.